Hey Valley Middle, welcome to another G67 math video. Tonight we're going to be looking at the differences between the E and the G67 programs. We're going to start tonight with a trivia question just like we start all student lessons. Just for fun, what is the record for the world's fastest recorded temperature change? We'll be back with the answer to that trivia question after our instruction. Well, tonight officially our target is I can describe the E and G67 programs offered to my child. Let's do this thing. There are about 350 incoming 6th grade students at Valley Middle School STEM. Approximately 26% of those are invited to participate in the G or E67 programs. How many students are in the G67 or E67 programs? Well, we know that 26% is really 26 students out of 100. And so if we're looking for that out of 350 students, this really creates a proportional situation where we can multiply 26% times 350 divide by 100, and we find out that there are 91 students that we're offering these programs to. Let's take a look at some must-know vocabulary words before we get into our program descriptions. First of all, math acceleration. This is the opportunity to advance a student's math learning track by 1 or more years. The G67 is a unique program that Valley Middle School offers that requires students to attend Summer Academy in order to get this on-ramp to math acceleration. E67 is also an on-ramp to math acceleration that requires students to complete some of their 6th and 7th grade year curriculums independently instead of going to summer school. So G, summer. E, no summer. The E kind of stands for extended day. I like to think of it that way. We're also thinking about what an honor student is here. An honor student is one of those students that demonstrates the independence, initiative, organization, work ethic, and mindset needed to be successful in an advanced curriculum. And this is really what we're working towards here, is creating not just a student with a strong math skill set, but an honor student, one who when they get into these advanced curriculums can be successful. Let's take a closer look at the two programs. So the G67 program, this will be my 3rd year. This is my second group of G67 students in class right here. You can see them having some fun. The G67 curriculum is a combination of both 6th and 7th grade curriculums. There's 100 6th grade targets. There's 70 brand new, unique 7th grade targets that we're going to cover during the extended year. I say extended because this classroom of kids starts their math and starts their school year day 1 of summer school. So we spend about 2.5 hours together for 16 days in summer school. And this makes up about 32 days of instruction time during the school year. So we cover chapters 1 and 3 during the summer. So in the fall, we start right off with a 7th grade unit of study. They also have a winter independent study project where they have to do 8 7th grade learning targets. This is just an amazing program, I think. These kids have the shared summer experience. They're ready to go on day 1. We've got a strong community and class chemistry going. These kids feel like superheroes and they enter their first day of middle school confident, knowing kids in one of their classrooms, knowing one of their teachers. They've already got 16 days of school under their belt. So that's the G67 program. The E67 program is going to have the exact same curriculum, except there's no summer academy. So to make up the time that the other kids put in during the summer, they do independent studies each trimester. So where the G67s just had 1 independent study during the winter trimester, the E67 students have a independent study each trimester, all 3 trimesters. And again, we gain 32 days of instructional time. So if you were to have twins and have 1 in the E67 and 1 in the G67 class, during the school day, during the school year, everything would look exactly the same. The difference would be 1 would attend the summer academy and do independent study just 1 trimester. The other one would not attend summer academy and would have an independent study each trimester outside of the school day. This is also, features that same G67 accelerated coursework. It's a great program. They don't have to be committed during the summer. I have this strong learning community. This is just a 2 thumbs up program here as well. This was my E67 classroom, one of them this year. This is the first year I'm completing my first year with the E67 kids, and again, it was just extremely successful program. Here's my other E67 class of kids right now. Take a look at what are the student responsibilities. Well, of course, they need to complete all daily required assignments, as well as completing their independent studies. They need to do this with a B+ or higher grade average. Not all the time, but they need to end the trimester with a B+ or higher. They need to have strong scores in the algebra prognosis and MCA tests as well. If they do all of those things, I think there's going to be no problem with them meeting the qualifications for advancing their math learning track by 1 year. What does homework look like? Well, the E and the G67 students will have approximately 15 to 20 minutes of video homework every night in addition to their independent work. So I teach in what I call a blended classroom. This means the kids will typically watch me instructing something at night on video the next day in class. We do some direct teaching of it, but because we've already had the background experience on video, we can spend a lot more time working together, collaborating, working independently. It offers me time to reteach each day so that the student gets multiple exposures to these new concepts to help really solidify them. Well, what are we looking at? What kind of a G67 or E67 student profile? And really, I'm really thinking more of what is the honor student profile here. We're looking for high potential kids here, high potential math learners, ones who are motivated to be successful with strong work ethic, those who are organized or at least willing to become organized because they're going to have to be organized to maintain some dates and stay on track with their independent studies. They need strong collaboration skills. They need to be independent and they need to be respectful because we need to keep the classroom pace is going to move at a very advanced rate. So we need to be able to transition quickly and we need to keep that as a very organized and respectful classroom environment. Parents, I also ask that you be willing to trust and support me as we go down this path together and really partner with me. There are going to be times when you think I'm the worst person in the world because I've given a student whose work was turned in late half credit. But again, long run, we're trying to create honor students here. And sometimes there's some growing pains that are involved when we hold kids accountable and they begin to grow and develop these skills and learn some lessons. And I also ask you for your forgiveness. I handle about 1,500 to 2,000 pieces of data each week, 1,500 minimum. Most of these are being imported and exported from my grade book and from other learning management devices, but sometimes I make mistakes. So I ask your forgiveness in advance for that. Okay, take a look at these independent studies a little bit more. The E67 kids who do not attend Summer Academy, they're going to have to do Chapter 1 during the first trimester, Chapter 3 during the second trimester, and then during trimester 3 they're going to have to do those 8 7th grade targets. The E67 kids are going to have to do those 8 7th grade targets during trimester 2. All of these independent studies are designed to take about 15 hours. They watch a video at home, they complete a worksheet that they would normally complete in class, then they stop in after school and they take a quiz on the material, and they move on to the next target. Some kids take and do all those quizzes, do all the work at home and just quiz at school. Other kids stop in after school and they actually watch the videos and do the worksheets right there under my supervision. I'm okay with either option. Gosh, Kip, where'd you learn all that stuff? I learned it chatting with babes online. Sorry, I like messing around in videos. Your kids will learn all my different voices I use. Here's a quick look at what my classroom looks like after school. Kids just clustered together, doing their own thing, working independently. Here are some of my helpers. Mrs. Wooten is with me just about every day after school. If she can't be there, Mrs. Carruthers over here stops in to help out. We've all been teaching together for a very long time, and typically, for most part, we get along pretty well. Okay, quite honestly, I'm frightened of Miss Wooten some days. I've been bullied. No. We have a lot of fun together and are good friends. What are we trying to work for here? Here's a quick look at what math acceleration would look like. If we do everything right and your child completes tests well and maintains that B+ average, what will happen here is typically a kid who is in 5th grade does general math, 6th grade general math, 7th grade pre-algebra, 8th grade algebra, 9th grade intermediate algebra, and 10th grade geometry. So what would happen is in 6th grade we do both general math and pre-algebra, either through the summer through 6th grade or summer plus the independent studies. So when they're in 7th grade, they'd be taking algebra. They advance their learning track by 1 year. 8th grade, they'd be taking intermediate algebra. Instead of taking geometry in 10th grade, they'd be taking geometry in 9th grade. Here's a look at a whole bunch of my successful G students from a couple years ago. They're in algebra right now, and I just asked them, hey, how'd the year go? How do you feel about it? And you can see they're all giving me the thumbs up. I had the opportunity to give these guys a test and sub in for their teacher, and it was just like being back home. It was a wonderful experience. These kids have had just a tremendous year. I've heard that from parents as well, that they felt very well prepared to skip a year of math and jump right into 8th grade. So positive news there. All right, I think you're ready for the ticket to the show. This is something that I do each night in my instructional videos. Ask the kids to answer a couple questions to prove that they've watched the video. So here are your questions. Can you answer these questions? Which class meets 16 days during summer school? Is it the G67 or the E67 class? All right. Which class has an independent study each trimester? Is it the E67 or the G67 class? I'll give you a couple minutes to think about that. Yeah, occasionally I do weird things in the video. You'll get used to it. No, I'm not normal, but after a couple years of therapy, your child will be just fine, I promise. Ask the G67 kids I just showed you the picture of. They're almost through with their therapy sessions. All right, let's take a look at the trivia question here. What is the world's record for the fastest recorded temperature change? It's amazing. It happened in a little town in South Dakota. And here's a little bit of the thing from the Weather Channel I got. Imagine bundling up to get the newspaper on an early morning at 7:30 a.m. with a temperature of a -4 degrees. 2 minutes later, when you take the dog out, you look at the thermometer, and the temperature shot up 45 degrees. That's right, a temperature increase of 49 degrees in just 2 minutes. This happened in Spearfish, South Dakota on January 22nd, 1943. But wait, that's not the end of this wild morning's weather story. After the temperature climbs all the way to 54 degrees by 9 a.m., it crashed down 58 degrees in 27 minutes. It was back to -4 degrees. Crazy. But it had something to do with the Chinook winds. I read it in a Jack Reacher book and actually looked it up online. It is true. This actually happened. This is pretty amazing. All right, special thanks to the Big Hammer, Mr. McCaig, also known as MC McCaig. Don't tell him I said that. I'm probably in enough trouble already with him for something. And Miss Bacala, she's the master planner, master coordinator. She does all the behind-the-scenes stuff, so thank her for getting you all to this meeting and helping put this together. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.